This is a 9-pound pork butt. Even though it's called pork butt, it does not come from the back end. It's actually the shoulder of the pig. And at least to me, it does have a lot more flavor than the picnic, which is actually the ham. But today we're going to be transforming this into a beautiful pulled pork sandwich. And the awesome part about it is that Sous Vide makes it really easy to do. The first thing I like to do is to score all of the fat. This does not only help with the rendering process, but it also allows me to put more seasoning on it. And as you can tell, it's a big piece of meat, so we need to season it properly. If you are worrying about making it pretty, please don't. Remember, in the end, we're just gonna pull everything, so there's no need to be pretty. It just needs to work. One of the most important things I've learned cooking big pieces of meat like this is that you must keep the salt separate from your rub. That will allow me to control the exact amount of salt needed. And the rub is just for flavoring. And in case you are wondering, I am using Guga's rub. If you have not seen that video, make sure you check it out in the description later on, because you can make this rub without any hassle at home. And once I was done applying the rubs to all sides, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I made sure that every single edge is perfectly seasoned. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, one of the most important things about cooking pork butt is the flavor, and nothing beats it like smoke. So for that, I'll be putting it in my smoker to get that wonderful smoky flavor. I set up my Camp Chef smoker to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and throw it in there. Because we're cooking this sous vide, we do not need it to smoke it for too long. I would say anywhere between 2 hours to 3 hours is good enough. It all depends how smoky you like it. Once the 2 hour was up, this is what I was left with. As you can see, that nice red mahogany color is a sign that the smoke penetrated nicely and deeply into the meat, making it not only look wonderful, but it also made a smoky flavor. At the same time, you gotta remember that this is 100% still raw inside. And to cook it and tenderize it to a fall off the bone texture, I am gonna be using sous vide. Now, the wonderful thing about it is that sous vide also traps that smoke flavor, which allows everything to infuse into the meat all the way in. Talking about that, the only thing left to do is to bag it up and get it ready for the water bath. That is perfect because it allows me time to go ahead and make an incredible sauce to go along with this pulled pork. As always, remember exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. So I started with a little bit of white vinegar, followed by apple cider vinegar, lime juice, brown sugar, smoked paprika, red chili flakes, black pepper, and your favorite hot sauce. Now there's left to do is to mix it well and bring it to a light simmer. We are not looking for a full boil, but a nice gentle simmer like this is good enough. We just want to make sure that all these flavors get to know each other. At the same time, you don't want to reduce this too much, if not, it's going to be way too strong. But after simmering it for about 2 minutes, it was ready to strain. Once that was done, I was left with an amazing and incredible vinegar sauce. This should pair perfectly with our pulled pork. You gotta remember, the pork has a lot of fat, and cutting it out with the vinegar is perfect. But another thing that will help the richness of the pork is also a coleslaw. And this one is southern style and it's super easy to make. The first thing I did was to make the sauce. And for that, I threw in a little bit of mayo, followed by apple cider vinegar, white granulated sugar, and of course black pepper. Now all there's left to do is to mix it well and your coleslaw sauce is done. That is as easy as it gets. Now here's a quick tip. I like to mix everything together directly into a Ziploc bag. That not only minimizes waste, but it also makes me not having to wash another dish. Now the only thing left to do is to throw in our sauce, mix everything together, and our coleslaw is ready. It does not get any easier than that. At the same time, we all know that leaving this in the refrigerator overnight produces a much better flavor. The very next day, I took it out of the refrigerator, put it on a tray, and check it out. That is going to be perfect with our pulled pork sandwich. Talking about that, one thing that we cannot forget is the buns. And at least to me, using brioche bun is perfect for it. However, I do recommend toasting it first. This will prevent your sandwich from getting soggy, because I'll tell you one thing, by the time we are done with the pulled pork, it will be extremely juicy. Talking about that, it is now time to cook it. And for that, I'm going to be throwing into the water bath at 170 degrees Fahrenheit for 24 hours. And I cannot wait for you to see how this is going to turn out. I know what you're thinking, 24 hours to cook pulled pork? First of all, when you cook it on the barbecue or if you smoke it, it takes 8 hours. But you have to be babysitting it. You have to control that fire. You have to make sure that that fire is there and it will not put out. You make sure of many other things. With sous vide, I put it in there, walk away, go to sleep, go to work, come back the next day, and it's ready for me. That is how convenient it is to make pulled pork sous vide. With all that being said, I'm hungry, it is ready, and it's time to take it out. Let's do it. Oof, the smell that is coming out of the bag is insane. I wish you can smell my entire studio. Even outside of the studio, my neighbors are knowing something is happening. And don't worry, always treat your neighbors right, because one day you will need their help. I know you wish you were my neighbor, so was I. Get free food all the time. Now here's the deal. The plan is, as you saw it, that thing is extremely tender. The bone just pulls out like nothing. That is a sign that it was cooked to perfection. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot of the rendered fat juices from the bag. Never throw that away. The wonderful thing about sous vide is that it renders all the fat down, but we can reserve it and then we can put it back the perfect amount that is needed to make the pulled pork sandwich. As you are putting the fat back, make sure you taste it for seasoning. If you need to, add a little bit of salt here and there. Be careful with the juices of the bag, because you can get really excited, because you will notice that as much as you keep putting it, it's just tasting better. The more fat, the better. You just keep adding fat, fat, fat. You can't overdo it and make it way too juicy. Be careful, all right? Now here's the deal. I know my pulled pork looks good already, but I'm gonna be building an incredible pulled pork sandwich with it. So now I say, I know it doesn't look that good right now, but watch this. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful pulled pork, Mama. What do you think?
Nice, beautiful looking pulled pork sandwich.
I already made 5 sandwiches, obviously for the video and stuff. And look how much pork I still have left. All right, so as you can see, Mama, we have a beautiful sandwich here. I'm just excited to try the sandwich. You ready?
I want to try that first.
Try it.
Come on,
try it.
you cannot put a tray of meat in front of me and not expect
Try
it.
it, try it, try it. It's only fair. Now, here's the deal. I will give you a big advice, everybody. As you are, cooking it, mixing all the juices, you gotta actually season it a little bit more if needed. Put a little bit of salt. Mama?
Oh,
This is gonna be good.
a little bit smoky, very tender, super juicy like sous vide meat usually are. Perfect seasoned.
The secret is extract all of the fat from the pulled pork. Render everything with sous vide. Now, obviously, you're gonna render so much fat that you're gonna have a bowl of sous vide bag juices, all right? Then your goal is to control the amount of fatness that you put it back.
Yeah.
That's why it's so moist. A lot of people don't like it when I say the word moist. Juicy, everybody. It's real
Moist.
juicy.
Moist.
Now let's try the sandwich. You ready, Mama?
Ooh, some onions here.
Yeah, some pickled onions, everybody. I don't know if I showed that on the video or not, but make pickled onions. You should always have it in your refrigerator ready to go. Cheers, everybody.
Wow.
You all right, Mama?
Wow. Not only the juiciness of the pork, but then when I tasted it, my mouth just went like.
That vinegar there that is there, it cuts the fatness from the pork. The acidity just makes it perfect. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I do like barbecue sauce as well, but it's too sweet sometimes.
So good.
Come on, man.
So good.
Come on to heaven, everybody. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always on the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.